The little girl was crying from hunger when her father quietly slid the last sandwich he owned across the park bench to a woman everyone else had ignored. His daughter stared at him in confusion because that sandwich was supposed to be their lunch. The woman accepted it with trembling hands and tears in her eyes. Neither the father nor his daughter had any idea that the tired, poorly dressed stranger sitting beside them controlled a multi-billion-dollar company and had spent months secretly searching for one honest person who would help someone in need without expecting anything in return. Before this emotional journey begins, if you believe kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances still have the power to change lives, please like this video, leave a thoughtful comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel so our family and our community can continue growing through stories that remind us compassion is stronger than wealth. Rowan Mercer had once believed life would get easier with hard work. Instead, the years after losing his wife became a constant struggle. Every day was a balancing act between paying bills, caring for his 9-year-old daughter, Clara, and keeping his small landscaping business alive. Some weeks were better than others, but lately work had become scarce. By the middle of summer, Rowan found himself counting every dollar before spending it. Despite the hardship, he never allowed bitterness to enter his daughter's heart. Clara grew up watching her father help elderly neighbors carry groceries, mow lawns for disabled veterans at reduced prices, and repair broken fences for people who could not afford professional help. Rowan often said that kindness costs nothing, even when everything else feels expensive. One sunny afternoon, after finishing a small landscaping job, Rowan and Clara sat in a public park to eat lunch. Their meal was simple. A single sandwich cut in half, 2 apples, and a bottle of water they planned to share. As Clara prepared to eat, Rowan noticed a woman sitting alone several benches away. Her clothes were old. Her shoes were worn. Her shoulders slumped with exhaustion. Most people walked past her without making eye contact. A few deliberately moved farther away. Something about her sadness caught Rowan's attention. The woman looked less hungry for food than she did for kindness. Without hesitation, Rowan picked up his half of the sandwich and walked over. He offered it to her with a warm smile. The woman hesitated before accepting. Then she quietly thanked him. When Rowan returned, Clara looked disappointed for only a moment before offering her own apple to the stranger as well. Pride filled Rowan's heart. His daughter had learned the lesson he hoped would guide her entire life. What neither of them knew was that the woman was not homeless. Her name was Genevieve Sterling. She was one of the wealthiest business leaders in the country. As founder and chief executive of a global technology company, Genevieve had spent years surrounded by executives, advisors, investors, and people who constantly wanted something from her. Success had made her wealthy but suspicious. She no longer knew who genuinely cared about people and who only cared about money. After a difficult conversation with her late father's closest friend, Genevieve began spending time anonymously among ordinary communities. She wanted to understand whether kindness still existed without publicity, cameras, or rewards. That afternoon, she found her answer. The following week, Rowan's situation worsened. A major client cancelled several contracts. Equipment repairs drained the little savings he had left. Bills piled up. Even worse, Clara needed expensive dental treatment that Rowan could barely afford. For the first time in years, fear began replacing hope. Meanwhile, Genevieve could not stop thinking about the father and daughter she met in the park. Most people ignored strangers when life was comfortable. Rowan had shared his last meal while struggling himself. She quietly investigated his landscaping business and discovered a pattern of generosity stretching back years. There were no headlines. No social media posts. No attempts to gain recognition. Just quiet goodness. Several weeks later, Rowan received an invitation to interview for a landscaping contract at a large corporate campus. Desperate for work, he accepted. When he arrived, he found himself entering the headquarters of one of the largest technology companies in the country. The building seemed impossibly luxurious compared to his modest life. Inside, he was escorted into a conference room. The door opened. And there sat the woman from the park. Except now she wore an elegant business suit and was surrounded by senior executives. Rowan stood frozen. The woman smiled warmly. In that moment, everything became clear. Genevieve explained that she had never forgotten his kindness. She told him that wealth often revealed what people wanted from her, but poverty revealed who people truly were. She had seen countless individuals ignore suffering. Yet Rowan had shared his last meal without hesitation. The landscaping contract she offered would provide enough work to stabilize his company for years. But that was not the greatest gift. Genevieve also established a scholarship fund covering Clara's future education and medical needs. Rowan struggled to hold back tears. Not because of the financial help. Because someone had noticed the values he spent years trying to teach his daughter. Word of Genevieve's decision spread throughout the company. Employees became inspired by the story. Volunteer programs expanded. Community outreach increased. Charitable projects received greater support. One act of kindness created a ripple effect touching thousands of lives. Months passed. Rowan's business flourished. He hired additional workers, including several struggling parents who needed second chances. Rather than becoming wealthy and forgetting his past, he remained exactly the same man. He continued helping neighbors. He continued teaching Clara that compassion matters more than status. And Genevieve discovered something equally important. For years she had searched for trustworthy people. What she truly needed was not a perfect employee or advisor. She needed a reminder that goodness still existed in ordinary places. Before this story reaches its heartfelt ending, we would love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment telling us whether you believe true kindness is measured by what we give when we have plenty or by what we share when we have almost nothing. One bright afternoon nearly a year later, Rowan and Clara returned to the same park bench where everything began. This time they carried enough food for several families. Together they distributed meals to anyone in need. Genevieve joined them, not as a billionaire executive, but as a grateful friend. Watching Clara laugh as she helped others, Rowan realized that kindness had never made him poorer. It had made his life richer in ways money never could. Genevieve finally understood that the greatest treasures are not found in corporate success or bank accounts but in human hearts willing to care for strangers. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. May we all remember that sometimes the smallest act of generosity can become the beginning of a miracle for someone who desperately needs one.